The Walt Disney Marathon has a new course this year. Let's get into it. So if you're running the Walt Disney World Marathon, Goofy or Dopey, you got an email yesterday saying that we have a new course for the Walt Disney World Marathon as well as a new start time. Now, the backbones to this course isn't super different from what we've seen in the past. It still goes Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood, back through Epcot. But we do definitely have quite a bit of changes that we want to get into here. Of course, we are starting in the Epcot parking lot. This has not changed, despite how much some of us want the old highway start to come back. But we are starting the parking lot here. You are looping around and going up to Epcot Center Drive, basically running the opposite way on the highway start and running back into the backside of Epcot. A lot of this part will look kind of like a 5K. You're going to be coming in, going around World Showcase. And the part I really like about this is that you are going to get to run all through World Nature, which we haven't ran that side in a little while, but you get this really great view of Spaceship Earth as you're running in that direction. So I am really excited for that part. Takes you out of Epcot at mile 3. And then this part is kind of interesting because this is actually the typical Magic to Epcot half marathon portion, but kind of backwards. So you're going out where we usually go in, back by the seas, a little bit different for the exit, but then you are going across the Epcot parking lot, and you'll be going across the bridge and doing that hairpin turn backwards where we do the up and downs, and then that dreaded overpass that we all despise right about mile 10 is now mile 5, and sends you going towards Magic Kingdom. Now this is where some of the bigger changes are, and really Magic Kingdom in general is the biggest change that we'll see overall, this entire MK section. So what we're going to see is instead of going through the TTC at the beginning, that is going to be after Magic Kingdom. Instead, we are going around the resort area, again, backwards from the marathon, where you're going to be going past the Poly and then going past Grand Floridian. And then one of the changes I am most excited for is you're actually going to be cutting in by Grand Floridian and running on that walkway that they've opened from Grand Floridian to the Magic Kingdom. I am very excited for this part. And then you are running right in the front of Magic Kingdom. You're still getting Main Street. And again, big change here is they have expanded the amount of time you're spending in Magic Kingdom. You're getting about 1.5 miles, whereas before it was a little bit under 1 mile in Magic Kingdom. And you were hitting all the lands, which is awesome. You were running down Main Street, still getting that awesome run there. But then you are cutting left and going through Adventureland, winding through that and going back out by where Tiana's is. You're going to do a little loop around where Big Thunder is, and then cutting back around, going through the rest of Frontierland, up Liberty Square. And then again, you're going up by Haunted Mansion, which I don't think we've ever done, and going up and around by the Tangled bathrooms there, through Fantasyland that way, swinging by Peter Pan, past the carousel, and through the castle in that direction. And then when we go through the castle, we are actually cutting left instead of cutting right, which we have done for very many races. So again, all cool. You're going to be cutting a sharp left and going back towards Fantasyland, actually into Fantasyland again. You'll get the rest of Fantasyland. You're going to go by the carousel that way, basically doing the big loop around Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Again, a really good, thorough section of the park. And then you'll be going back through the circus area and then going on that back path, which we've seen before, but going the opposite way towards Tron. Now, this should look really awesome. Give you some great views of Tron and that big glass vibrant overlay there. And then you will be coming out through Tomorrowland, doing this little section pretty much straight through Tomorrowland, and then exiting between Carousel and Buzz Lightyear, which will be a new exit. And then it looks like we're going to be coming out a little service road and then getting back onto Walt Disney World Drive. And this is, again, kind of like the half marathon, but backwards. You're going to be making a right, going past the Contemporary, and then into the TTC backwards. So you'll do that little part where they allow people to cheer at the TTC first, and then you're doing a little bit of zigzagging through the parking lot there. I would imagine there'll probably be like aid there, food, water, that sort of stuff. That seems like the logical place for that to go, and typically is how they like to set those little stands up. Typically, though, this section, even though it is a zigzag, has usually had like pretty solid characters entertainment. And again, I think there'll be aid there. But then you are zigging around the parking lot, and you're going to be making your way onto that back road. And you are on this back road for a pretty long segment here. This is nothing new, though. The rest of this course now will look pretty normal to what we've seen the last couple years in the marathon. But you'll be getting on this right at 13, so just about halfway. which I believe is actually a little bit later mileage wise than we used to get onto it. And you are on this here for 14, 15, right before 16, you do cross the road there. And then this is where you'll see the runners coming back from Animal Kingdom as you're heading towards Animal Kingdom. And you're on there for 16, about 16 and a half. You are going to be starting to see the Animal Kingdom backside. You'll see like the animal habitats and all of that. And then you enter the park about 17. And this section is exactly the same. You go in through Africa. It looks like you're cutting that left. You're going through Asia. You go around Everest there. And then you are going around to Dino Land and then cutting through Dino Land and out the backside there, cutting left, and you'll go around the backside of Everest. And then that'll take you to 18. Again, you're on kind of that back service road. You'll meet up with the runners heading back towards Animal Kingdom there, right up through 19. And then we'll be making that right turn. And this is probably the biggest slog of the marathon, I think. It is a little bit later. This used to be like 18 to 20. Now it's going to be just after 19, up through 20, and then through 21. This part is rough. It is a little bit uphill, very slight. Typically, the sun is like right in your eyes the whole time. So have your sunglasses ready for that. That takes you right by Coronado Resort. We'll be cutting right. The little Blizzard Beach parking lot situation is still a thing. We are doing that. You're not running through Blizzard Beach, just the parking lot. So you do that same exact zigzag where it's a little out and back, basically over towards the miniature golf area. And then you run in around the loop. This will be set up as an aid station. You're going to have water, probably food there again. And then as you come out, you're making that right. And then you are just after 22. You'll hit 23 as you go over the overpass crossing Walt Disney World Drive. And then you are heading towards Hollywood Studios. You'll hit Hollywood Studios basically in another quarter mile, about 23 and a quarter, 23 and a half, somewhere in there. This is a very, very quick in and out, which has not changed from the marathon. They really just kind of let you touch Hollywood Studios a little bit. You come in through the amphitheater for Fantasmic, and then you go down by Tower. You run just a little bit on Hollywood Boulevard there, and then you're right out the side. Again, you just kind of touch Hollywood Studios there, and then you are making your way back towards Epcot. You're going to hit mile 24 in the Hollywood Studios parking lot, and then you're running on that pretty long path there that takes you from Hollywood Studios over to Boardwalk. So you'll be going around the Boardwalk and then entering Epcot by taking that left and going around the Skyliner station there. And then you'll go all the way around and enter right by the UK, which is very typical for where we enter in this or exit in this section. And then instead of doing that victory lap around World Showcase, because we did that in the morning, you're going to be doing pretty much a quick jut across Epcot. You hit mile 25 basically right as you are entering Epcot again, or just after you entered Epcot again, actually. It is right by Canada. And then you do get to run straight down the path from World Showcase towards Spaceship Earth there. So you're going to get a real nice view going towards Spaceship Earth. You do run pretty much right to the center, and then you're taking a hard right out by the Creations. And then this finish is probably indicative of what we're going to see for the finish for most of the Walt Disney World Marathon races. This is the standard finish right now, where you are going to be going out straight towards Mission Space. There's no little loop where you get to go by the Guardian ship. You're going straight over towards Mission Space, cutting that right over by Test Track, and then you are exiting and doing the loop that basically takes you around the Guardians roller coaster housing. You'll hit mile 26 along that back, basically right before you take that final bend. And then that point 2 is basically just your straightaway into the finish there. I do still like this newer finish they do where it's kind of along the tram road that's there instead of kind of in the middle of the parking lot. I think this finish is nice. You get a nice big straightaway here. Overall, I actually think this course is a net positive. I really, really like the Magic segment. I like that segment where you are going before you get into Magic along the lagoon there. I think that is really awesome. I don't really feel like we gained like extra highway time off of this. You have that little weird zigzag through the TTC. I think they were just trying to make the mileage work, but I think that will be fine. And we did again lose kind of that victory lap around World Showcase, but quite frankly, when you hit mile 25 in the marathon, I think most of us are ready to be done anyways. So that quick jut is fine. And you do get to still do a round world showcase in the beginning. And I love the way that looks with all of the countries lit up and the torches lit up. That is always a nice view as well. And then of course we have this 4:30 a.m. start now. Definitely not what I would consider a net positive. I think this was we want to get people on the course so we can get them off the course faster type of situation. Same reason again why I think that we are doing World Showcase first, because that opens it up to guests earlier. Really opening parks up to guests earlier, I think, is the main reason why they would bump this up 30 minutes. But if you are running Goofy or Dopey, that means that your final day of waking up early, you're now waking up even earlier to do the longest distance of the weekend. So that is quite a lot. That 30 minutes of extra sleep definitely could go a long way for some people. I did just speculate on some water and beverage stations, more just from what we've seen in the past and kind of what I am guessing. The map they've currently provided to us does not have the medical or water aid stations, that sort of thing, but I would still expect them probably about every 2 miles or so, in probably pretty typical spots that we've seen them in the past. But if you are running the Walt Disney World Marathon, whether part of one of the challenges or as the marathon on its own, let me know what you think of these course changes, especially if you run any of the previous years. Let me know what you think. Do you think we should just scrap this one and go back to running through ESPN? Leave a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and all of that fun YouTube-y stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.